So the UK have just announced they're prepared to, or have passed a agreement to allow 3 million Hong Kong residents to migrate to the UK should the need arise, which is obviously a political move designed to piss off the Chinese. So I'm going to tag a video I made on the 26th of May in regards to this, and a prediction I made back then about exactly this scenario and what the next stage might be after that. So if you haven't seen the video, or heard the video I should say, it'll follow my voice. Cheers everyone. I want to make a prediction here based on current events, although I haven't been talking that much about the global events because we all watch the same stuff. We all know what's going on in Hong Kong at the moment, and this goes back to a video I made again a couple of months ago regarding a book a guy called Jack London wrote called The Unparalleled Invasion. Anyway, it's really worth looking at that again now because it's shaping up more to that book dialogue than any other so-called movie or script that's predicted this. So Jack London's A Paralleled Invasion, I'd really recommend having a look at it again and going through it. So this is what I see, actually is what I see happening, and I'm very happy to be wrong, and it's not so much as a prediction as just common sense. So they always move west. We've known this through history, thousands of years. They always move west. They follow the setting sun. This is something I know, something a lot of other people know as well. They're going to unleash China, and this is how I think they're going to do it. I think obviously Hong Kong's going to erupt over the next week or few weeks or months, don't quite know when, but it's going to erupt. I then think, and this has been talked about as well, but I've thought about this on a different level. I think the world, and this is all pre-planned, don't forget, so when they announce this, if they announce this of course, then this isn't going to be news, this is just going to be script. That European nations especially will take in refugees from Hong Kong fleeing the oppression of the CCP, because we already have the media frenzy whipped up about this at the moment. So there we go, refugees flooding into Europe mainly from Hong Kong. At first this will be fine. Then what I think we'll see is dissident, well, media created and intelligence created dissident terrorist groups blamed for attacking China. So they'll create a group of dissidents to supposedly carry out attacks in China. China will label the West as harbouring terrorists and demand that these people be returned. Well, they won't be returned because they didn't exist in the first place, because anyone that had fled Hong Kong isn't going to be sitting in France on the boulevard drinking a beer thinking about blowing China up, are they? You know, they're not going to be in Sweden skiing down a mountainside for the first time in their life. You know, they're not going to be thinking about blowing up China. So logically this is what I see occurring. I do see there being an outcry because it's planned. Right, part of this is that Australia and New Zealand have been cultivated over the past couple of decades. I believe the wealthy Chosenite families from various parts of the world will be moving to New Zealand and Australia and Tasmania over the next decade, if not sooner. I actually see all this with China occurring by the end of 2021 simply because of the CV21 tag that's being subliminally put everywhere, and the Communist Party 100-year anniversary, Communist Victory 21, CV21. They're going to unleash the nihilists upon the last civilizations, independent civilizations on Earth, which is Europe. And again, not a prediction, but I can't see any other logical. We know the war drums are beating with China. We know Australia's poking them. It could be that maybe they stage a fake attack in Australia, wipe out a load of people, and then that leaves a corridor open for other people to go and migrate there. And they'll say it's a fair migration. You can see a Palestine Mark II here. Again, you're going to think this is, you might think this is crazy, but just look at the geopolitics adding up at the moment. What will happen if we sit there and watch Hong Kong's people be brutalised. This is all part. Again, I'm going to keep repeating. It's all part of a plan. It's a script. I mean, it's like you could sit and write the script if you thought about it. It's not difficult. What would the world do? I'm seeing pieces on, oh well, Hong Kong has to have autonomy, or Hong Kong has to. Well, it can't. It was handed back over by the British. This wasn't supposed to happen until 2047 fully, but the Chinese want it back now. It's their right, actually, it's their territory, but the Hong Kong protesters, fueled and funded by the West, and they have some correct demands, don't get me wrong. I'm not belittling them, but they are a funded protest. So again, we see, it always happens, we see a migration here affected by this scamdemic, and the Hong Kong situation, I think, is going to open up, believe it or not, a route into Australia, New Zealand and Tasmania for the very wealthy families of America, Britain, maybe the royal families of Britain even. I just have, it's not going to happen immediately, so you could save this video and come back to it later, but that's what I see shaping up in front of me. They go west, always go west, and west from America obviously is from it depends which continent, South or North America. But if you were to leave from, say, New Mexico, or let's just say New Mexico, go directly west, hit or miss Australia. If you go from North America, you go west, you hit China. So everything's westerly. Europe is on its last legs. Europe is being decimated. Europe's individualism, culture, races, languages are being destroyed, and it didn't happen quickly enough. Agenda 21 had to merge into Agenda 2030. We are very resilient human beings. I don't even feel the chemtrails worked wholly. I think that people adapt, and we are the ultimate machine, in effect, the ultimate organic machine. We adapt to our surroundings and are far more resilient when it comes to wiping us out. We breed like rabbits, and I think that this is why a lot of things were pushed back, and I think this is why everything is being so force accelerated now. So watch Hong Kong, watch the reaction of the world, watch who's pushing for refugee status for Hong Kong, and understand what corridors that's going to open up via migration, because it's like revolving doors. One opens one place, one opens another. Cheers everybody. Watch that Hong Kong space.